Hello viewers, Carlos is back with the same t-shirt as usual. In this hot weather, this is the only thing I can bother wearing. And well, the recording keeps crashing, but here I am, recording a special video. It's scrappily edited, but today I am paying tribute to my favourite acting performances. Most of them I've seen recently, but I've selected about 20 performances, and I will share my thoughts on them. Some well known, some not so well known, some divisive, etc. And I've recorded some video clips with my phone. I haven't got a screen recorder yet, so sorry for the okay video footage. And today I'm going to share thoughts. Right, I will cut to the next segment before the recording crashes. Okay, so the first performance I'm going to discuss is Rutger Hauer in Blade Runner. I've only seen this film once, and I don't have a video clip of it, but I think a few of you know this. Blade Runner is one of the most iconic science fiction movies of all time. I think one of the reasons why I haven't got a clip for you is because I accidentally might stumble across a very graphic death scene in the film, which I found very disturbing. I was actually 16 when I saw it, which is more or less old enough to see a film like that. I still wouldn't watch that movie. Well, I will, but I will definitely turn the TV off when that clip comes on. So Hauer was incredibly powerful as Roy Batty, this Dutch actor. He was built for that kind of role. Ridley Scott knew it. And Hauer, he plays this android, this replicant, this robotic character, but he has human emotions. He is more or less a human being in an artificial form. But he is psychotic. He spent so much time isolated, enslaved, and say when he murders Tyrrell, it's extremely brutal and disturbing. I've spoiled it, damn it. But that scene is quite powerful in general. His final scene, which was improvised, is the Tears in the Rain scene, where he's monologuing to Harrison Ford about what he's seen while he was working for in colonies. And in general, he really captures the feel of an android. He makes the character his own, he improvises, it all works together. And he is unquestionably the best performer in the movie, maybe with the exception of Harrison Ford or Sean Young. And he helps make the movie iconic. Sadly, he wasn't rewarded. He was nominated for the Saturn Awards, which if you've seen my Saturn Award reaction video, you'll know what that is. But he didn't get much further than that. In my opinion, even if I haven't seen a lot of performances from that time, he should have got an Oscar nomination. Because it is an iconic performance and it is really powerful. Especially his final scene, Tears in the Rain scene. And before my battery runs out, I'll move on to the next performance. Performance number 2 is also from a science fiction movie, also incredibly iconic, and you might be more familiar with it, especially if you saw him as a kid. Christopher Lloyd in Back to the Future. And Back to the Future has a lot of great performances. They're all iconic, maybe not awards worthy, but they kind of are. Michael J. Fox, Crispin Glover, Leah Thompson, but Christopher Lloyd unquestionably outdoes all three, even if they're much younger than him. Lloyd plays Doc Brown, this mad scientist. He's not evil mad, he's not psychotic mad, he's just mad, controlled mad. He's more controlled and reasonable and very philosophical at times. But Lloyd, what he does in this film is incredible. He creates this character who has moments of sheer lunacy. Not just in terms of what he does and the way he says things. He's all over the top. He talks really fast. He's really energetic. And at the same time, he's really what's the word? He reflects quite a bit. He is a smart guy. He is wise. At the same time, he loses his head. There's so many great lines he delivers in the film, like, "My God, I don't know how, but they found me. It's the Libyans, run, Marty!" Stuff like that. You all know it. That was my impersonation of it. And yeah, it's just a performance that goes down really well with me. He again didn't get much acclaim, but in terms of the legacy he left on film, he left a big mark, and unquestionably he deserved an Oscar nomination. I'm not kidding. I think in the long run he deserved the nomination that year. In fact, apparently, the real supporting actor field that year was pretty crap. And the winner was just a sympathy vote for a career award for a performance that was not very good. Anyway, enough about that. Moving on to performance number 3, also iconic. Okay, so we have Bruce Willis in Die Hard, which is simply a performance which redefined a genre. He didn't get any acclaim, to be honest. I've checked, because Bruce Willis, he doesn't have any serious acting moments. Maybe the yippee-ki-yay scenes, but most of the action heroes of the time, say Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando or Predator, were quite robotic. He didn't have real emotions. I haven't seen either film, but from what I've read, from what I've analysed, yeah, they were very, very cold characters. And Willis added humanity to John McClane. He is a hero, not a clean hero, but the good one. He spends a lot of the film, say, talking to himself, and he has humour, but he adds vulnerability as well. You really fear for his life. You think he could actually die at some scenes in the film. And in general, a very, very skilled performance. Also, Alan Rickman is great as Hans Gruber, the German terrorist in the film, because he's playing a caricature, but he does it so well. They're perfectly two perfectly harmonic performances, lead and supporting. And Rickman is great, and so is Willis. And to be honest with you, both redefine the genre in terms of playing heroes and villains, and both are nominee worthy because they did a great deal of influence on popular culture. Enough said. So Willis and Rickman added a real connection to their audience, and that is really fundamental. Next, Giancarlo Esposito in Do the Right Thing. This is the first performance I have a clip for. Esposito, I think he's more or less a character actor. If you're watching this in Britain, you might not know who he is. You probably will if you're watching this and you live in America. He is a character actor. I saw him in The Usual Suspects. He played a detective, did as much as he could, but he didn't have much to do anyway. But in Do the Right Thing, he plays this over-the-top comedic character called Bugging Out or somebody. He has this really, really weird style. He has these big glasses, this spiky hair, and his character's all over the top in everything. His voice, his body language, his charisma, it's all super elevated, like shouting a lot, and it's just genuinely cool. I mean, there are a lot of performances like these, but in Do the Right Thing, I liked Danny Aiello as the pizza shop owner, but I also liked Esposito, who was probably on par with Aiello, if not better. And here's the clip if you want to see it.
Fuck you up quick 2 times. 2 times. Who told you to step on my sneakers? Who told you to walk on my side of the block? Who told you to be in my neighborhood? I own this brownstone. Who told you to buy a brownstone on my block in my neighborhood on my side of the street? Yo, what you want to live in a black neighborhood for anyway, man? Motherfuck gentrification. Well,
as I understand it, this is a free country. Man can live wherever he wants.
Free country? Man, I should fuck you for saying that stupid shit alone.
Esposito really adds this level of depth and humour, and he lightens up a lot of scenes which would otherwise be okay. Do the Right Thing is a very well shot and written film, but some of the acting is okay. Spike Lee is good, but he's not remarkable. Esposito and Aiello are fantastic, and both were justified with nominations. Aiello actually was nominated, one of only 2 or 3 nominations for that film, and many believe it should have won Best Picture. I can't really disagree with that either. Do the Right Thing is a great film. Esposito is a huge part of it. Next on the list, I actually forgot. It's 2 performances in the same movie. I watched Reservoir Dogs back in January, and I loved the performances of Michael Madsen and Tim Roth. I mean, Harvey Keitel is superb in this film. He's really, really on it. Steve Buscemi once again plays this almost this foolish character, but with some intelligence and morality, but gets unlucky in the end. I don't know if he gets unlucky at the end of Reservoir Dogs, but he's one of the few characters where we don't exactly know what happens to him. But Roth and Manson played two performances by going to the extreme with their acting. They were simplistic techniques, but they were still really effective. Roth, his character at the beginning of the film is shot in the gut, and he's bleeding, he's in pain, and after the opening credits it's just him screaming for most of the film and shouting. But he's so realistic and gritty. He's just really effective. I really liked his performance. It was really natural, and it just worked. And Roth is a British actor, and in my opinion underrated. He hasn't had the career he deserves. I mean, in Reservoir Dogs, I must admit his American accent isn't that great, but he's still awesome, and he genuinely does his best, and he's not poor. I really liked him in Reservoir Dogs. I think I might even have liked Michael Madsen more. Madsen is even more simplistic. He plays this Mr. Blonde, isn't it? Who, when we're introduced to him, he's happily sipping on some Coke or something he got from a fast food store. So the premise of the movie is a jewelry heist has gone wrong, and the survivors have to pick out what happened. And eventually, of course, the story is told in a non-linear fashion, but in general, it is chaotic and quite violent, of course. So it's not for the faint-hearted, although I was actually fine with the infamous ear-cutting scene, because it was off-screen. If it were on-screen, I wouldn't see it. But Madsen in that scene is terrifying. He acts with this light-hearted, humorous style. His character's obviously a sociopath, and he's just happily chatting away, dancing, while mutilating this dude's head, cutting his ear off. It's disturbing. It wasn't really disturbing, but it was quite powerful, watching a dude being so light-hearted and so on, while performing such a horrible, vicious act. And although Madsen was, again, being subtle and just playing it safe, he still really shocked me. And both of those guys deserve nominations. Reservoir Dogs, in general, deserved a lot of nominations at the Oscars. He didn't get a single one, but it just marked how well Tarantino writes and directs his characters and actors. The next guy on the list is also in a Tarantino film, and I think all of you know who it is.
What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what? What? English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Yes. Then you know what I'm saying. Describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like.
Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction, of course. A lot of people think Martin Landau as Bela Lugosi in Ed Wood, who actually won the Oscar that evening, deserved it, rightfully. I haven't seen Ed Wood. I've seen clips of Ed Wood of Landau as Lugosi, and he is actually really funny and cool. But I can't see how he's much better than Jackson, to be honest. I mean, Samuel Jackson is playing, obviously, one of the most iconic movie characters of all time. That's not an exaggeration. I think everyone who's seen Pulp Fiction or knows about that knows how good he is in this film. He simply uses sheer force in that main scene, and also in the scene towards the end. And Sam Jackson has this, in general, he has this relaxed, laid-back appearance and persona. He says a lot of chilled stuff, but then at the same time he's quite a nasty guy. He's a hitman. It's his job. It's his job, and I've lost thought. And so he is incredibly scary. And when he goes from just happily chatting to those teenagers, those kids, and then suddenly turns and just shoots one of them in the chest, and well, these guys have stolen the hitman's boss's briefcase. They want to get it back, and they're going to kill these boys for what they did. And Jackson's monologue before killing Brett, who's played by Frank Whaley, is obviously one of the most iconic scenes of all time. I have the clip of that too, because who wouldn't, making a video with such recording capabilities?
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison prison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon.
So, yeah, that was something. And, of course, it's just a phenomenal performance from Jackson. I think, naturally, this comes to him. But he obviously blows Travolta in most of the scenes where he's like that. Travolta's good in the movie. His Oscar nomination was justified. He didn't deserve to win, though. Tom Hanks fully deserved to win for Forrest Gump. Uma Thurman was also great in her role as Mia Wallace. They all make Pulp Fiction the movie that it is absolutely perfect, according to most, and basically according to me. Whether by accident or by years of thought, I think Tarantino has produced a seriously good movie, but without Jackson, it would be far lesser of a picture. The next performance is lesser known, I guess, but still fantastic nonetheless.
23rd of July 1968 at, sorry about this, at 3 Haven, Wells Grange Avenue, Sutton, Surrey. Look, I'm sorry, I know this must be a shock to you.
Yep, Brenda Blethyn in Secrets and Lies. I saw this film a few weeks ago. I couldn't sleep. I borrowed the DVD from the library at the university. I'm back home now, as you can see. I put the DVD in the PlayStation, and sure enough, this was a fantastic movie. Secrets and Lies is a family, friendship, relationship drama. It is very well written by Mike Leigh. Well, he's credited with the screenplay, but he has the actors generally improvise a lot of the dialogue. I think he generally writes a story, and then slowly the actors bring it together. And Blethyn plays a middle-aged woman working in London, living with her 20-year-old daughter. They don't really get on, and Blethyn has a past life, as evidenced in that very, very sketchy clip. That is obviously very, not, I would say, yeah, dark and not very pleasant. And of course, she eventually is going to have to reveal the truth to her daughter that she's kept secret. And the way she shows that depression, that fear, that anxiety, and all those other emotions is great. Blethyn has at least a few scenes in this film where the way she conveys expressions is extraordinary. She can go from one side of the spectrum to another in a matter of seconds, and this forthcoming clip illustrates that extremely well.
Have you got a boyfriend?
I'll give them all a wide berth. They got me into enough trouble in the past, ain't they? Got a job, have you?
Yeah.
That's good.
As you can see, Blethyn goes from laughing to crying so quickly. She's on this knife-edge balance between happiness and sadness, and the way she composes herself is phenomenal. Blethyn was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress in a Leading Role, and to be honest with you, she deserved it. The award went to Frances McDormand for Fargo. I saw Fargo recently as well, and although McDormand was funny, she put in a good comedic performance, it didn't really register for me. It didn't really do what it intended to do for me. So I liked it and I thought it was a good performance, but I can't see how it could outdo Blethyn. In general, McDormand's performance is very popular universally, but Blethyn deserved the Oscar, man. And I am desperate to see this Lars von Trier film, Breaking the Waves. Today his only Oscar-nominated performance, but essentially first of May, morally, for many film fans around the world. Emily Watson in that film is meant to be possibly even better than the two combined. Maybe I'm exaggerating that, but I don't have enough time to explain her performance and character in detail, but again, she expresses negative emotions and all kinds of emotions in an extremely raw and powerful way. I've seen a 6-minute clip of that in Breaking the Waves, and it is extremely good. It's on YouTube, it's like excerpt from Breaking the Waves if you want to see it. So yep, Watson, McDormand, Blevin, 3 of the most powerful performances of 1996, the year I was born. And also from 1996, in a supporting role, is a blockbuster performance, another blockbuster performance. It's nowhere near as well known and famous, but for Star Trek fans, this is easily an iconic role, and I think the actress who played her from South Africa did it to a T.
We two are on a quest to better ourselves, evolving toward a state of perfection.
Forgive me. The Borg do not evolve. They conquer.
By assimilating other beings into our collective, we're bringing them closer to perfection.
Somehow, I question your motives.
So, you have Alice Krige from Star Trek First Contact. Alice Krige, again, a not so well known actress, but if there's any role which she'll be remembered for, it's this, as the Borg Queen. As the Borg Queen, Krige is very interesting. She plays the centre of the Borg collective. They assimilate species from planet to planet. And at the same time, she doesn't play this she plays this very unique character. She is obviously not very attractive looking, even with those dark piercing eyes, but she is obviously seductive at the same time, which is really cool. The Borg aren't just these robotic, emotionless beings, they can be, in a sense, emotional. And of course the character isn't emotional, but she isn't exactly one-dimensional. She is seductive, she is sexy, she manages, through some assistance, seducing the android Data over the course of First Contact. And the two have this, like Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman in Die Hard, this great, tidally locked dual performance. And Krieg, just through her acting, is great. She makes her character ugly and attractive at the same time. She says intelligent, poetic dialogue, and although she has this really sinister appearance, she has this mischievous look to her. So she has a personality, she has a persona, and that's important. And a lesser actress than Krieg would not have made her character work. And because she made a performance iconic, and because she added depth and dimension to her character without overstepping it, she and Brent Spiner, who played Data, were perfect. And again, it sounds a bit weird for me to say they deserve nominations, but Krieg especially did. They both Spiner and Krieg actually won Saturn Awards. So there you go. That's why the Saturn Awards are good. They award some pretty interesting actors and their characters. Next.
Fucking an 8.
Smokey, my friend. You're entering a world of pain.
Walter, man.
You mark that frame and 8, you're entering a world of pain.
I'm not.
A world of pain.
Look, dude, this is your partner.
Is the whole world gone crazy?
Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules? Mark at 0.
They're calling the cops, man. Put the piece away.
Mark at 0.
Walter, put the piece away. Walter?
You think I'm fucking around here? Mark at 0.
All right, it's fucking 0. Are you happy, you crazy fuck?
Proves how John Goodman, who, to be honest with you, needs more roles like these, can make a terrifying, what would normally be a terrifying, horrifying situation funny. A dude is held at gunpoint, he has a gun right at his face, he could have his head blown off any second. But although you kind of know it's not going to happen, the way Goodman makes this scene funny rather than scary is brilliant. John Goodman in The Big Lebowski, everybody. And what else can I say about him? John Goodman has played some good characters in good films. Apparently he was also nominally worthy in Barton Fink, but in this film he simply is over the top. Jeff Bridges is also fantastic as the dude, Jeffrey Lebowski. Julianne Moore is also fantastic as Maud Lebowski, the eccentric artist. But Goodman kills it. In every scene, his over-the-top, obsessive Vietnam veteran personality combined with that absurd, stupid, crazed behaviour. Like when, for example, he goes all Reservoir Dogs on someone and bites his ear off. Not graphically, but it is disturbing and funny at once. And that's the genius of the Coens. They write these unusual stories that would normally be horrible, but the way they add in humour through writing and directing and acting is incredible. And Goodman is a regular in Coen Brothers films, and he's brilliant. Without his acting, that scene wouldn't work. But he makes it funny, and there are loads of other scenes where he does that. Another one is where he says that he thinks this dude in a wheelchair is a fake, and he just picks him out of the wheelchair with his big muscular arms and just hurls him out onto the floor. It's just so over the top. It's just an over the top performance, but Goodman makes it work, and it too, along with Jeff Bridges and Julianne Moore and maybe Steve Buscemi, are all iconic. And that clip, in my opinion, perfectly sums up why he is Oscar worthy. The reason why The Big Lebowski didn't get any acclaim was because it came out very early in the year, I think March in America, so the opposite end of the year. If it had come out, say, 6 to 9 months later, it might well have been an awards contender. Goodman may well have been nominated, but by today's standards, he absolutely would have been. A lot of these performances I've chosen are nominee worthy, in my opinion. Some, obviously, maybe not. Maybe they're too brief. Maybe they're just not good, but I personally connect with them really well. I understand more or less how they work. And before I spend too much time talking about Goodman and partially disconnected stuff, I'm moving on to the next performance, and we're jumping straight into the 2000s here. I don't have much to say about this next performance, but here's the clip.
Well, you figure you sleep 1/3 of your life, that knocks off 8 years of marriage right there. So you're down to 16 and change, and you're just a teenager at marriage. You can drive it, but there's still the occasional accident. What do you do?
I'm not sure yet, actually. I just graduated last spring.
What did you study?
Philosophy.
Yeah, there's a good buck in that racket.
Yeah.
From one comedic performance to another, Bill Murray in Lost in Translation. As you see there, he has great chemistry with his co-star Scarlett Johansson, who was just 17 when they shot that, and she's meant to be playing, what, a 21-year-old or somebody? Both have really, really great performances. And I need to stop repeating myself, but I just can't stop. Regardless, this performance is generally universally recognised as one of the best performances of the last 20 years, 15 years. Murray, he's had a lot of great comedic performances. Groundhog Day, he was nominee worthy. Ghostbusters, I don't really like Ghostbusters anymore, but I guess he was good in that too. I saw Moonrise Kingdom some time ago. He's funny in that too, even though he doesn't get to show us a lot of his wisecrack humour. In this performance, he's a lot more subdued. You don't get as much over-the-top humour from him. You don't have him driving a car into the ocean or into a ditch, or it's a very realistic, grounded performance by Murray, and it's largely dramatic. But the way he adds comedic elements and little mannerisms, it works. It's more or less a derivative of himself. He's still a famous movie star, aging, but the quirkiness of his performance is brilliant. How he lost the Oscar is anybody's guess. I bet Sean Penn's good in Mystic River, but there's no way he was better than Bill Murray. Bill Murray is one of the coolest actors ever to walk the earth. How he lost the Oscar, If you watch the clip of Sean Penn winning is on the Oscars official channel. If you watch Bill Murray, he's just like this. And the Oscar goes to Sean Penn. He just doesn't have any expression. He's really annoyed. Well, not annoyed, but or maybe he just doesn't care. Either way, it's brilliant, and we just need to see Bill Murray doing this as well. And the next performance, I think, is, well, something else. I like this performance a lot. This is a performance I rewatched recently, and I adore, for the right reasons, of course. In the past, Adolf Hitler has been portrayed in, I haven't seen a lot of other Adolf Hitler performances apart from the one I'm showing. They're all caricatures, they're all cartoonish. They don't really capture the real sense of what it was like to be with Adolf Hitler. But 10 years ago, a movie about the end of the Second World War in Berlin was made. And the performance, maybe not the main performance, but essentially the real lead performance in this movie, will blow you away, whether you're taking this movie seriously or not.
Tasto. Sfortunatamente generale non tanto molto. Gut. Die Geschichte schaut auf euch. Und wenn Germania aus diesen Trümmern neu emporwächst, seid ihr die Helden.
I was 14 when I first saw Downfall, and it's violent, like most post-Saving Private Ryan war movies. The violence wasn't graphic enough to put me off. There's like an amputation scene that's briefly shown. It was okay. Disturbing, but it was okay. It registered, it was fine. But recently I thought I should rewatch Downfall. I've heard a lot of good things about Gantz's performance, a lot more than I'd imagined. I thought it was good anyway, but I was too young to evaluate acting performance as well. I might still not be an expert yet. I may never be, but I do like reviewing and analysing anything I'm interested in. And so when I saw on the BBC iPlayer they were showing Downfall, within 5 minutes I was watching it, and I had no idea how much I was enjoying the rewatch of the film, because the acting from the ensemble is extraordinary. The cinematography is hit and miss at the beginning, but it sorts itself out by the halfway point. And in the end, this film has one of the best biopic performances ever. Bruno Gantz definitively has the best performance ever in portraying Adolf Hitler. Gantz watched a lot of clips of Hitler, listened to any audio clips he could find of the dictator. He got the accent right, the mannerisms. He may well have improvised and created his own, and he recreates a living, breathing incarnation of Hitler, and he does it so well. And of course, there have been a lot of parodies and memes, millions, literally millions, coming out of Downfall, and mainly from the rant videos where Gantz's Hitler gets really mad, he gets really angry. And I like those scenes, but the scene I showed you was, I think, a lot more comprehensive. It shows Hitler, in this scene, Gantz, you see him imitating Hitler's mannerisms to perfection, the voice, the accents, his mindset, his mentality, and at the same time, throughout the movie, not just in that clip, but throughout the film, you might just sympathise with Hitler. Some of the best villain performances, or best villain biopic performances of all time, are the ones where you can sympathise with the character, not all the time, but sometimes you can almost justify what they're doing. Charlize Theron did that in Monster. Haven't seen Monster, but everywhere I've read, that's what I hear. I need to see Monster, of course, as brutal as it could well be. But Gantz, another definitively great performance. It's multi-layered, it's just it's great. I love it. And Downfall is a brilliant war movie. If you want to see a war movie that's got war violence but it's not too disturbing, and it's got phenomenal acting at its core, and it's got a relatable, not relatable, but familiar scenario, Downfall's the movie. I haven't seen Saving Private Ryan or Black Hawk Down, for example. Okay, that's not World War II. Black Hawk Down's 1993, but yeah. But with Downfall, I am never going to enjoy, or not necessarily enjoy, but appreciate a war movie like this, even if I've seen Saving Private Ryan, if I see it later on. Gantz is great. He wasn't nominated for the Oscar, but he should have been. I'm telling you now, he should have been nominated. Had he won, it would have been great, but due to the eligibility rules in America, he was, what was I going to say? Gantz and most of the film was ineligible. The film deserved lots of nominations, in my opinion, especially for Gantz. DiCaprio, I've seen Leonardo DiCaprio in The Aviator as Syracuse, he's great. He's a typical good nominee who would have made a great winner, but Gantz is simply something else. The next performance is from 2004 as well, and again, multi-layered, and it's a completely different performance, but it's still menacing and shark-like. Closer was also made in 2004. It's another film I didn't rewatch. I hadn't seen it, but I wanted to see Closer, and I thought this might be a good movie. It sounds good. It's got two performances which, from what I've read, are quite good. It might be a good film, and I found it on Netflix by chance. I watched it, and it's brilliant. Screenplay is absolutely perfect. Patrick Marber, well done for creating a very interesting relationship drama. It's repetitive, but that's kind of the point. It shows the disintegrating, desperate nature of human beings when they're in love, desperately in love. Closer has Jude Law, Julia Roberts, Natalie Portman, and Clive Owen all making and breaking up with each other. It's brilliant. But Portman and Owen were nominated for Oscars. Portman is really good, but Clive Owen, even if he gets the better dialogue, the better lines, he still destroys everyone. At the start of the film, his character is this loser, this dude who's he doesn't have a lot of luck, and sometimes he gets into quite a bit of trouble, and it's not good, as you'll see here.
Why do I feel like a pervert?
I think you're the victim of a practical joke.
I am so sorry.
So Clive Owen's character, Larry, I should start mentioning the characters' names, eventually gets into a relationship with Julia Roberts' character in that video, and they marry, but then things go wrong for him again, and then he manipulates things for all three of the other lead characters, and eventually he forces a situation which works well for him, not so well for more or less the other people involved. It's really nasty, but the way he transforms his character from this, as I said, this loser at the start of the film to essentially a winner is scary. You don't even realise it, it's that seamless. He's brilliant, and he's turned the tables so well. This next clip, illustrates just how far he's come over the course of the film.
You never forgive. Of course I forgive her. I have forgiven her. Without forgiveness, we're savages. You're drowning.
You ain't married because of me.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's a joke. Your marriage is a joke.
Here's a good one. She never sent the divorce papers to her lawyer. Now, to a towering romantic hero like you, I don't doubt I am somewhat common, but I am nevertheless what she has chosen, and we must respect what the woman wants. If you go near her again, I swear, I will kill you.
Clive Owen, man. Why isn't this guy James Bond? Why hasn't this guy won an Oscar for that performance? Why hasn't he done so well since then? I mean, that was an epic scene. Maybe not his best scene in the film, but simply Clive Owen, man. he's 50 now. He's in this TV show called The Nick, but that's basically all he's got. I saw a clip of it. He looks good in it. It's just the American accent sounds a bit crummy, but other than that, good nonetheless. I just hope more actors like him don't end up in the same way as him. He's fallen from grace. He's still doing reasonably well, but I just hope he has another Oscar-worthy performance like that, because if he doesn't, he is essentially a talent wasted. The same could be said for the next actress on this list. Only the third or fourth female performance in this list so far. She was in Pacific Rim a couple of years ago. I haven't really seen Pacific Rim, but other than this is a really good performance. Some hate it. Here it is. Rinko Kikuchi in Babel. First time I saw this film, I was blown away. Adriana Barazza, in general, has the more popular performance. She plays a nanny who goes to Mexico, but on the way back runs into immigration troubles, runs away, and loses the children she's taken care of in the desert. And the way she depicts the lost self, physically and mentally, is brilliant. But Kikuchi, for me, was so much more powerful. A lot of people think her story in the film, The Multi-Layered Babel, is unnecessary, but I don't see why. I mean, yeah, sure, it isn't important to the central plot, but it's still interesting and relevant to us as human beings. Kikuchi plays Chieko, a Japanese teenager. She's deaf-mute, so she can't hear, or she doesn't say anything. So, of course, she struggles to communicate with others. She mainly communicates through sign language, but what's really remarkable about Kikuchi's performance is that she actually acted alongside real deaf-mute actresses. She's not actually handicapped, and therefore she was so realistic and brilliant in this Alejandro Iñárritu film. She deals with loss and rejection, conveying emotions in an unusual, raw form. And I think like her penultimate scene, or one of her last scenes, where she tries to seduce this police officer in an explicit way. The way when he obviously has to reject her, he's like, "No, you're just a girl. Please don't do this." She breaks down in his arms. It's heartbreaking watching her go into that state. I mean, she is a lost character, probably one of the weaker characters in the film, but Kikuchi's acting is so raw and brilliant. It just works. It's experimental, but it still locks on. I was really moved by her performance, and I don't think any other performance from that supporting actress category will beat her. In the end, Jennifer Hudson won for Dreamgirls that year. I think that's decent thing, but Kikuchi is my win in that category in that year, and it will probably stay like that forever. I can't think of any other performance that will beat her. There's not much to say about it, but having seen that film 3 times, what Rinko Kikuchi does is great. She might not be a very versatile actress, but wow, that was something. Even if Iñárritu probably made her do each scene like 40 times or whatever. But moving on, next we have a far more recognisable performance. You guys will know who it is the second you see his face.
If you have a milkshake, and I have a milkshake, and I have a straw, there it is. That's a straw. Watch it. My straw reaches across the room and starts to drink your milkshake. I drink your milkshake. I drink it
That is one of the greatest moments in Daniel Day-Lewis's career. Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the greatest method actors ever. For example, for Gangs of New York, he actually worked as a cobbler in Italy, I believe, before shoot scene began. And in the film, he refused to wear a warmer coat when he fell ill because they didn't exist in the time of the film setting, he says, still locked in character, Bill the Butcher on set. And they had to get the paramedics and they had to get him to take antibiotics, otherwise he might have died. Daniel Day-Lewis must be a great person, but what a nutter. And this is unquestionably possibly his best performance. Maybe My Left Foot is better, or even Lincoln, although some hate the fact he dominated when apparently Joaquin Phoenix is better in The Master in that category at that time. But no one can argue that he was an all-time great in There Will Be Blood. I was so pumped seeing him play Daniel Plainview in this film. This prospector, mining for oil, well, that doesn't make sense, digging for oil, getting profits, earning money, this greedy, borderline, psychopathic character. And Daniel Day-Lewis is in full swing. His accent isn't particularly strong, but it's strong enough to make you think, that's cool. And you look like a fool, don't you? That's one of my favourite lines of his in the film. He's this very, very I guess self-obsessed character, and really demanding, really obsessive, really hungry for land, for money, for food. He eats steak every day towards the end of the film. Plainview is a madman, but he's a cool character at the same time, and that scene sums it up pretty well. I don't really have much else to say about Daniel Day-Lewis. That scene says it for itself. He's awesome. I nominate him, I give him the win easily. Paul Dano is nominee worthy in that scene too, I think. Paul Dano is a great supporting actor. Yeah, he plays the same character in every movie, the girly, screaming, weakling guy. In this film, he's actually a little better than that. But yeah, Paul Dano is a great actor as well. Haven't seen him in anything else that I like. Although he's going to be in this one called Love and Mercy. I'm going to watch that when it comes out. I'll have to watch that in another cinema because my local one shows so little good stuff. Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis, ruthless, ambitious, murderous. He has such menace to him. He's so nasty, and he has humour, etc. Blah blah blah. I think you all know it. And once again, I spent too much time. So next performance. This one is a bit obscure, but you might laugh when you first see it. No, wait, stop. Before I show you a clip, this is from the film In the Loop, which is that political comedy, black comedy. It is quite funny. I found it was boring. I'm not really into politics, so I found it boring. But those scenes where some of the characters go full apeshit on camera is hilarious. Peter Capaldi definitely deserved a nomination. And I'll first show you a clip which I like, and here we go.
Tell you what's going on where you are, sweetheart. A certain vinegar-faced, manipulative cowbag is about to discover that she's out of a job. Fucking hang up, haven't you? Fucking hoity-toity.
Hey, buddy,
fucking...
hey. Enough with the curse words, all right?
Kiss my sweaty balls, you fat fuck.
Ah, yes. Capaldi. He is good. He is probably the best performer in the movie. But there is an underrated performance from another angry Scot in this film, played by theatre actor Paul Higgins. This is the very best of Jamie McDonald.
See what I'm doing to this machine?
Jamie,
see
don't...
this machine?
Jesus Christ! Fuck, Jamie!
See how angry I am with the piece of office equipment that leaked this document. Huh?
Michael!
Can you even imagine how angry I am with the person who leaked it? Can you? Can you?
Really
Can you see
expensive,
me?
Jamie!
Jamie?
With me.
Oh, don't come over all fucking Spartacus on us now.
Wait, there's more. There's more, right, guys? Hang on.
Turn that fucking racket off!
Turn it off.
It's just fouls! subsidised foreign fucking fools. So the only reason you listen to this shit is because it's bad form to actually wear a hat that says, I went to private school. So tell me now, right, who did you leak it to?
I just sent it. I read it, I thought it was important,
Good.
so I sent it.
Good. Fine. Fine. See that fax? Yeah?
Yes.
That is your career, and I think it might be fucked. But let's just check. Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
So yeah, Paul Higgins is hilarious, and that scene is essentially metaphorically doing the equivalent of beating someone up, beating them to a pulp by smashing a fax machine. So it's graphic, but not in organic form. It's in the form of an electrical device. And again, it's great comedic acting, which makes ridiculous situations even funnier than they should be. Higgins is like an even more characterized version of Peter Capaldi's character, even madder, even more angry, even more bad-mouthed. And those two clips, virtually back to back, are, well, fine comedic acting. And in my opinion, if Capaldi was to get a nomination, Higgins deserved one too. The fax machine scene is one of my favourite comedic scenes. I watch it all the time, and I just love the use of bad language. And while in general it is controlled, but it's still over the top and simply hilarious. And I haven't got much time left. I'm getting up to the hour mark. I've spent way too long in this video. I'm feeling a bit sleepy, which is why I'm stuttering and losing thoughts a lot. But the next performance is very, very captivating.
J'avais quelqu'un maintenant. Tu sais ça?
Ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful, the brilliant, the versatile Adele Exarchopoulos. This is a performance again I saw back in January. I didn't expect this performance to be as good as I thought. And even if I see Blue Jasmine and watch Kate Blanchett's performance, which would have been a contender, I still don't think it's going to be better than this. Adele Exarchopoulos, however you pronounce her surname, we'll just call her Adele. This is one of the finest performances in modern cinematic history. Adele, the director, the crazy director, decided she'd be perfect for the lead role, and he saw her when he got her to eat. The way she ate matched exactly what he imagined Adele would do. So I thought, that's it. That's it. She's the perfect actress for the character. And just 18 when the movie was shot, Adele perfectly captivates and carries the feel of a young woman transforming from this 15-year-old schoolgirl unsure of her sexuality, of where her future lies, into this mature young woman making her own decisions, becoming more mature and experienced, and simply brilliant. But Adele adds such raw emotion to her performance in that near minute-long scene where she weeps spontaneously, fake cries really effectively. She even has a nose run, which even fewer actors can do than they can cry. Absolutely brilliant. And at the age of just 18, she had to do a lot of very graphic sex scenes, and there was a lot of nudity involved. For an actress to do that at such an age is incredibly brave, and you have to applaud her for that. And I haven't applauded anyone in this video so far, but Adele Exarchopoulos and to a lesser extent her co-star Leah Sadu, puts in some phenomenal acting, incredible physical, emotional performances, and I hope that they'll get some more roles in the future that prove what an actress she is. Maybe this is a one-off performance. Maybe she was just so connected to the character she was playing, she'll never hit that level again. She's in this Hollywood film directed by Sean Penn, but it's yet to find a distributor, so I may never see it, or probably will, but not for a long time. Leah Sadu is in Spectre, the new James Bond film, so her future's wrapped up for now. And in general, Adele is fantastic. It's one of the most complete acting performances of all time. In this 3-hour romantic epic, she makes the movie what it is. Truly sensational. And coming up is a performance I regularly chat about on my videos, mainly because this actress may have even more of a future than Adele, and in general, even if this clip may not sum up just how good she was in the film, yeah, this may well be the start of a great actress in the making.
I figured out the message. One word. You know what it is? Stay. It says stay, Dad. You don't believe me? Look at the books. Look at this. It says stay. Why? You're not listening. It says stay.
That was Mackenzie Foy in Interstellar. Now, to be honest with you, it isn't the strongest performance in the film. Matthew McConaughey carries his character, the story from start to finish, in the lead role. Jessica Chastain is not as strong as him. She's arguably a little stronger than Foy herself, playing the older version of Foy's character, Murph. And Chastain does the performance justice. She does a good job. But Foy has built a platform for her to operate on. Foy has created a character against cliche. Okay, she's essentially playing a child genius, and although the Nolan brothers have written her child genius characters to be non-cliched, essentially, just as typically intelligent girl, what Foy achieves is extraordinary. Many actors of her age have pulled this off before. Natalie Portman did it in Leon, in her screen debut. But we know how far Portman's gone since then. Foy, we're not too sure. Even I'm not too sure how truly talented she is as an actress. I mean, she won a Razzie for Twilight. But in that scene you can see, although it was a bit melodramatic, Foy conveys expression brilliantly. She can fake cry. She can really move you. She shares that scene with McConaughey. I said in the previous video she destroys him, but I was exaggerating that. She shares the scene, but she matches him. And even though she has a limited amount of screen time, pound for pound, I think if she had more scenes, I'm not saying she needed more scenes, she had a great amount of screen time, but what she achieved in those minutes was very powerful. I mean, other actresses her age and ability could pull it off, but Foy is unique, and she's great. And I haven't said this of a lot of actors, how they can convey emotion through their body or their face. John Goodman or Paul Higgins can convey expression through their body language. Samuel L. Jackson conveyed expression through his face and partially through his body. Foy can convey expression through facial expressions and also her eyes. I don't want to spend too much time chatting about it, but she really, really is heartbreaking in that scene. I'll load another clip quickly to express that further. Here it is.
Start T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, main engine start, 4, 3.
See what I mean? Maybe I'm overhyping her performance here. But this is one of the first performances I saw in the cinema after I got into film in a serious way, where I think, yeah, this is good acting. And sure, she's probably only the second or third best performer in the film, but regarding what she did with her screen time, she was very moving. And regarding this is a scene where her father's saying goodbye, and she may never ever see him again, it's realistic enough to really, really shatter you. And her presence could be felt throughout the film, and indeed, as she morphed into Jessica Chastain, essentially. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of other young actors, like Mackenzie Foy, who are bound for great careers. Cara Hayward is another young star. I saw her in Moonrise Kingdom, really versatile. Not as gripping as Foy, but overall, as a lead actress, not supporting, still very good, and I'd like to see her become a success. So yeah, Foy is one of many talents, but for some reason, maybe because I saw her first in the movie, yeah, I'm really pleased for her. And I do mean it when I think she deserved an Oscar nomination. Most of these performances deserve Oscar nominations in my opinion. Maybe that's because I've seen so few performances relatively. But this is one where it all works. I knew she wouldn't get nominated, but I would have loved to have seen it happen. But regardless, I hope this is the first of many great performances for Mackenzie Foy. And if I became a filmmaker, I would love to recruit her and have her in one of my films as an actress. Yeah, that's how it is. I think in the end, I think I've reached the end of the video, guys. I think I've got a couple more performances I could chat about, but I've been going on for an hour, cumulatively. I need to stop. I need to go to bed. And there you have it. I will, over time, keep editing this video after I publish it. So edit the description, I'll tell you where I can show you all those acting clips I found. Some were on, the closer clips were on a DVD, you might not be able to find them. But overall, even if this video might have been bore, I hope you rate it, comment on what you thought of my opinions if you paid any attention to them. But thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. This is the biggest one yet, and great, I'll see you soon. Bye.